Hey folks, this is Jake Davis on the fly review for you, and tonight I'm talking about The Matrix Resurrections, directed by Lana Wachowski, and starring Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Neil Patrick Harris, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Jonathan Groff, Christina Ricci, Jessica Henwick, Priyanka Chopra, Jada Pinkett, and Lambert Wilson. I'm not even bothering with the good light. Watched this movie basically as soon as I woke up this morning. Here it is damn near midnight and just now getting around to shooting this video because I just have not felt like talking about this movie all day. This movie sucked. Straight up, I guess I'll give it 2 stars because I did enjoy the visual effects, the style. I thought the composer, who did it, but they did a good job trying to recapture Don Davis's original score. I thought the visual effects, color palettes, and all was a very, very, very good match for the original movie, which was something that movies like Rogue One and well, maybe not so much Rogue One, but definitely say what was the one with the Hobbit ones, the Hobbit trilogy? It didn't even look like the same Middle Earth. Um, the whole setup here is 20 years later. Neo has somehow been resurrected and still in the Matrix, and him and Trinity are there, and a digital version of Morbius is trying to free them both into the real world so they can continue with the war, which has now been restarted, with some machines wanting to reopen the Matrix and some machines fighting with people, and blah 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 blibbity blue. It's a lot of bullshit. I enjoyed the first act of the movie because it was unintentionally self-parodying itself. It felt like it was almost like Rick and Morty levels of meta, where they're trying to get. Uh, he's a game designer, and they're trying to get him to design a fourth Matrix game. It's just so bad, and the whole excuse to bring back and recast Smith was just obnoxious. And why bring back the Frenchie? Of all the characters, just why? Why? Who cared about him? Yeah, I guess I'll give it 2 stars just because, they put their budget on the screen, and it was nice to see an action movie with some, practical effects and some actual hand to hand choreography. But this movie spends its first 30 minutes telling you that there's no need for a fourth Matrix film. Uh, and making one will just be a soulless cash grab, and then spends the next 2 hours giving you no reason to think different, and then by at the same time ruining pretty much every character that came back, undoing um uh, Neo's sacrifice, making Trinity, who's already a Mary Sue, even Mary Sueier, making Morpheus a completely different character, and recasting Smith with a guy who does not have a shred of the presence or charisma as Hugo Weaving. This was not a good movie. This was a shameful, shameful cash grab. Uh, People like myself who grew up on The Matrix and loved the movie. I loved that movie. I've seen it so many times. Uh, but the truth is, it just has one great movie. And of course, this sets up, it gives you no new. It tries to deliver new characters to care about and does a good job trying to develop them and make them interesting, but you still don't care. You just don't care about them. Because you don't give a shit about Trinity and Neo and Morpheus. You don't care about the returning characters, much less these new ones. and uh, and then of course it's just the obvious setup. The story. There's nothing resolved here. Nothing gets settled here. It's just please come back in a few years for Matrix 5. Absolute bullshit. What I've always loved about the original Matrix is yes, it does set up obvious sequels and set up a world that you can build on, but it's its own self-contained story. When the credits roll, this story is told. This movie is over. It's not everything has to set up for a sequel constantly. And it's just, yeah, this is a shit movie. It was a chore to watch. Like I said, the first act of the film is unintentionally hysterical, and then the rest of it is just typical pseudo-philosophical dreck. And nowhere near enough action in this movie. Anyhow, another shitty sequel, another heartless reboot, and sure, at least one good thing coming out of this for Warner Brothers is this movie ends their obligation to the streaming to HBO Max, where they promised a full year. Every movie we release is coming out on HBO Max the same day as release. And that year is up, and they are happy. Especially with Batman right around the corner, and with Spider-Man cleaning up right now. Who knows? There could be hope for Hollywood if they just do the very, very, very daring concept of just give people what they want. Anyhow, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Even though it's available on HBO Max and in theaters, I would say just avoid The Matrix Resurrections. Go see the original film. It's the only good one of the four. Anyhow, I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.